Hi, it's Russ from Pro Tools Expert, and I've got myself a copy of the UAD Sound Machine Woodworks plugin. Now, this claims to be able to take a piezo guitar, in other words, the bridge pickup in an acoustic guitar, and make it sound like it had been mic'd up in the first place. Now, when I heard about this, I was pleasantly intrigued, should I say, and thought if this works, then this is going to save a lot of people a lot of time, especially if they're doing live work. I can imagine church worship bands, those who do live worship albums, those who do live albums generally, and those who record acoustic guitars. And often, of course, on stage you won't be using mics, you'll be just plugging it in with a jack, and then you end up with a piezo sound later. It's not always terrible, but it's not always the best thing. You'd rather have mics around it. So what I've done here, I've got three examples. I've got my Taylor 414 plugged in. It's got a Fishman pickup. I've just got that all flat and recorded it in. I've recorded in some strumming, and I've also recorded in some picking. And then we've got some fiddle that I want to try that's been used again with a bug pickup. And then finally, we've got a nylon acoustic guitar that's also been used with a piezo electric as well. So we're going to try it on those three things and see how we get on. First, I want to give you a quick how it works. It's pretty straightforward. On the left-hand side here, you have the different models. You have 4 Studio, 8 Dreadnought, and 4 Jumbo, and they'll give you different characteristics. Then you have the pan left and right for the neck and the body mics. So often when you mic up an acoustic guitar, you'd have a mic on the body and a mic on the neck, and then sometimes you pan it to give it a nice stereo effect. Now also there's this defaults and manual button. Now if you have it in defaults mode, as you try the different sounds, the different settings on here, these will revert to how they were saved at factory. However, if you've got this set so you like the neck and the body and the pan in the right place, then you can go through those one by one without them changing. So I'm going to put it in defaults first and show you in defaults, and then we'll let play with it afterwards. Then we've got an input and an output level, and that's basically the on-off switch instead of using the bypass here on the plugin. It's as simple as that, and it looks quite cool. It looks like an old radiogram from the 1950s, and I've been playing with it. I have to say, I'm pleasantly surprised, but I thought I'd give you some examples. So first, let's play it without anything. Now, these guitars also are going through the signal chain. They recommend you try with it. So I've got this going through an EQ1P, an LA2A, and the EMT140. I'll just turn off these other reverbs as well that we've got on this acoustic guitar. So I've tried it on one first. Let me just play it first without it on. So we bypassed it. Let's go back to the beginning of that track. So that's the original recording. Here it comes. And then you just go through and try the different versions. As you see, as we're changing them as well, the pans are changing position, the volume of the neck and the body are changing as well. Now what I would say is I wouldn't take too much notice of what the names say. It's just a case of getting a sound that suits you. One of the nice features straight away is this is a mono recording, and you could put this as a mono to stereo plugin in and then use the pans to make it wider. So I'm going to come up now to, I think 5 is one of my favourites on the Dreadnought side. And again, we can then start moving around the neck and body. So here's the neck. And here's the body. We could pan them. There's the original again. Let's hear it on the picked one now. one thing straight away I notice when you add it in, especially on the pick stuff, is when you use a piezo normally on picked, you'll hear a kind of slight compression going on as you play. Which is inherent with the pickup. Let's go into the studio ones. And I find tweaking these really does help. If you put that in manual mode now, as we move these will stay in position. Now the second thing I'm going to show you on is the nylon guitar. So let's have a listen to this nylon guitar now. Now that's in. Let's bypass it. Bit more bright. As you can hear, there's a huge variation and all very usable. That's nice, that one. Back to the pickup. So as you can hear, very, very impressive results. Now let me show you a fiddle now. This has been recorded. It's got some bleed on it as well. So this is a really challenging set of circumstances. And I just wanted to try it on something more acoustic. So Julian gave me this fiddle that he'd got a recording of from somewhere. Thanks to Marcus and his buddy for the nylon guitar. And that's my tailored in the first part. So let me play that again. Play it again. Just match the volume there. So also quite reasonable results on that one as well, but definitely on the guitars. And one of the other good tricks I've worked out as well is if you put just the acoustics and copy it, which is what I've done here. I've copied my acoustic twice, then I put two different versions of the sound on the acoustic, and you get a really nice big stereo sound. Let's bypass those. There's the original. go to the pick version of that now and just play the pair of those together. Let's turn it off first. Of course, that's just two together. Bypass them again. So, in conclusion, that is the Woodworks plugin. I was not skeptical. Somebody said I was skeptical when I mentioned it in a team conversation about this. Skeptical is too strong a word, but I was a bit somewhat skeptically open-minded about whether this would actually yield results. But UAD don't really produce pups, so I wasn't expecting it to be rubbish. I just wasn't expecting it to be as impressive as it is at taking a guitar that's just plugged in and making it sound like it had a mic put on it. And the variety of sound, were it just to make one sort of emulation of a mic on a guitar, that would be impressive. But for this to have as many as it has, which is 16 different versions, and then all the ways you can pan it and bring the different mics in, I think it's a very, very useful plugin. I think it's going to find itself on a lot of recordings. I wonder if some people will actually resurrect old recordings that they've done before from live stuff and then put this back on it. I think they will. So in conclusion, massive thumbs up from me. I am impressed, to say the least, and I wasn't expecting to be impressed. So it gets editor's choice from me because it's a fantastic addition to any arsenal, especially those working with lots of piezoelectric acoustic guitars that are recorded already. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you again soon.